What's up, everyone? It's your girl, Val The Forensic Gal. Welcome to Cyber Secure You. Run toward technology. That's our new little tagline. And happy 2024. It's like we really are just getting started in the year with this show. I did do one last week, but we might mix that one with this one. I don't know. We'll see how we're going to handle that. But thank you so much for joining me. And let's just get right to it. What we're going to be talking about today is the metaverse and metaverse assaults, because it's like literally rising in numbers. There are so many incidents that are being reported of women being gang raped in the metaverse. Now, Meta is what Facebook switched their name to, right? So Facebook is now Meta, and now Meta has a verse, a virtual reality world. So let's just clear that up. But we're going to jump right into the situations and what happened. So we got Nina Jane Patel. She is from London, 43 years old. Sexually assaulted and gang raped. 30 seconds, according to her. 30 seconds after she entered into the metaverse. What's interesting about Nina's story is that she is a VP for Kobe Ventures in Britain. And so it is a technology firm, but she also is VP of MetaVerse researching. Okay, so it's just interesting how that happened to her, and she also worked as in some aspect or as affiliated in some way with metaverse, right? So anyways, 30 seconds in, she enters in, right? She puts on her gear, she enters into the virtual world, and boom, she's immediately attacked by, how many men did she say here? I think she was attacked by about 4 male avatars, and they groped her. They started touching on her. She said they were touching her upper part and her mid part, and she was just in so much shock, right? She could not put on the blocking features quick enough because she was literally taken by surprise. They photographed her, and she, at some point, after getting over the trauma, she was able to rip off her headphones and quickly end the encounter. She was traumatized, and she experiences anxiety. And actually, this particular case seems to be going all the way to court. Like it is being considered an actual physical rape as if it occurred in the real world. Very interesting, right? So I'll get into my thoughts about it towards the end of the show. Next case, 16-year-old in the UK, also raped. 16 years old. She was wearing the virtual reality headset, and a animated representation of her, which is the avatar, was then raped. And she is experiencing a lot of emotional trauma, psychological trauma, as someone who was physically raped in the real world. And she was only 16 years old. Next case, another lady. She actually, what's interesting about this particular case is she is a beta tester. So MetaVerse, which was Facebook, put out a virtual world. This virtual world is called Horizon World, and it was launched December 1st. This particular lady was a tester of this world, going in and just seeing how it would work if someone actually were to use it. She tested it out. And let me just explain this really quick. Horizon World was created where a place where people can gather, where you can meet your friends, where you can hang out, you can play games and build your own virtual world. I swear this stuff trips me out because I'm like, why would you need to go into a virtual world for that? I feel like this virtual world stuff is for sissies who don't know how to actually maneuver in the real world. But when they get up in this virtual world, all of a sudden they're the shit. You know what I mean? They're the popular one. They can be who they want to be. They can change their name. They can change their face, change features. If they want to be buff, but they're actually in the real life like skinny or rinky-dink looking. Now they're all buff and, they can look extra fine and catch that girl kind of thing. So it's just a place for you to be who you really aren't. I mean, okay. All right. I mean, I'm happy with me. I was just telling the executive producer here, I was saying, look, man, I gotta gain some weight gain some weight. I gotta lose some weight because I could barely fit into my shorts. Do I need to go in a virtual world and pretend to be skinny when I'm really not? And really, I'm not even trying to be skinny. I just need to slim it down a bit because I want to be able to wear the same clothes I have and not have to go do a whole new set of shopping. But point being is, do I need to go in a virtual world and pretend to be the size that I want to be happy, to be able to function? I don't know. This whole thing really needs to be evaluated. So that's the other case. That's the lady who was a beta tester. She was also groped. She was more so groped. I don't know if she was actually raped, but she did complain about being groped by male avatars. And so MetaVerse, aka Facebook, took her comments and the information that she stated and basically posted it for other people to see. But they didn't actually take any steps to do anything about it besides that. All right, next case, 21-year-old researcher. She was also virtually raped. And she was raped within an hour of entering the virtual world by strangers, or by a stranger. Actually, it was just a stranger, one guy. Now, her story I can go a little bit more in depth with because there was more details. Other users basically watched and passed along a bottle of vodka as she was being raped. What happened is that she was led into a private room and by a guy, and he was like, hey, come on in here, and she's like, well, I don't know. But she eventually went, and before she knew it, he told her to turn around, and he told her to bend it over, arch that back, pop it like you're hot, and so that he can enter from behind. Okay? I wonder how old he was. It wasn't mentioned how old this avatar was that did this to her, for him to be having this request. You know what I mean? But anyways, he told her to turn around, bend it over, and users outside the window could see what was happening as she was getting fucked, I guess, because it's not making love. He fucked her. She apparently disassociated herself from what was happening because she was in shock. But what's interesting is that she said he told her to turn around. So why turn around? Don't turn around. Hell. All right? Why? So how are you disassociating and going through all these traumatic experiences when you really didn't even have to turn around in the first place? I would have kicked him in his balls and took the hell off. But I guess, in this virtual world, I haven't tried it yet. And I think I should, so that I can speak more on it from the sense of being in that world and what I would do while I'm in that world if something remotely close were to happen to me. But in the real world, I would have kicked his ass. So in a virtual world, I'm assuming I would have even more powers to really take his ass down. Anyways, she didn't have her safety features on. And apparently when you're going into this virtual reality, there are safety features in place for avatars to use should anything happen. But many people go in blindly forgetting to use these safety features. And so therefore, now I don't know how the other avatars can tell that the safety features aren't on, so therefore they go on the attack. I'm not sure how that works exactly. You know what I mean? Because if the safety features are on, then I would think the other avatars wouldn't be able to attack them, which they can't, but they would know not to be able to attack them because the safety features are on. But maybe they know when the safety features aren't on, and therefore they're like, okay, well, hey, free for all. Let's just do this. So anyways, these cases are happening more and more and more. Okay, so now for parents that are allowing their children to enter into this virtual reality and enter into this world, in this space, I think it's important that you understand a few things. That this is a world that is unregulated. This is a world where things can happen, and your children are allowed to explore areas that you probably in real life would never let them explore. So I would suggest that you monitor their actions heavily when they go into this world. You take a look at their devices, you see the actual world they're going into. So like this Horizon world where they can go in and gather and party with friends and everything. Okay, kind of get that. That seems harmless. At the same time, it became it became a problem for individuals who entered into this world. a lot of times the children are spending an enormous amount of time in these worlds. Okay, it's a search. It's like a social opening, like it's a social environment where they're like they can be free, they can be themselves, right? And their true identity comes out. And when you think about it, you have like Beyonce, who has Sasha Fierce, right? So she has this alternate personality, right? So I'm assuming that children, when they go into this world, they are acting as such. They're acting as what they would like to be like. So parents, for those of you who have children, you bought them this headgear and you've allowed them to enter into this world, just monitor it. Just know that, make it so that you see what they're doing. Okay, so we talked about it here. Pair your devices. Make it so that when they enter, you are entering as well. You don't have to stay in the virtual world with them the entire time they're in it, but you need to be able to pop in every now and then and just take a look around and see where your kid is and what your kid is doing. And also have your kid tell you how they're planning to appear in this world. Because again, when you go into this world, you can be any type of any shape, any size, any color. You can literally change your entire person. So as a parent, I know for myself, I'm going to be like, okay, honey, now my daughter's grown. And even now, even though she's grown, I'm going to ask her, oh, well, how are you going into this world? Are you changing your hair color? Like, are you going to be thinner? Are you planning on making yourself taller? If I decided to hop in here, how do I find you? You're just going to have to straight up ask. And then if you go in there and there's something totally different, then they need to be reprimanded and they can't use virtual reality for like a week. I don't know, figure out something. But that's my advice, okay? So I hope it helps. There should be rules in this space. That really is how I feel about it at the end of the day. If they're going to create something like this, then you've got to have rules that follow. I don't even know why these guys don't think about this shit. Well, how do you create something and not account for any mishaps that may occur? It doesn't make any sense. I just want to make sure I cover everything. I will say that since these cases have come out, that MetaVerse has now implemented barriers. And these barriers, and it's some kind of radius protection where all avatars are to remain 4 feet in distance from each other unless you are friends or you allow it. You take off that safety precaution or that safety measure and allow the other avatar to get closer to you, which seems to be the problem. Because even if the lady I mentioned, what's her name? Nina, the lady we first brought up, Nina was raped by people she worked with. Now, how does she go back into the office and face these individuals that know, like basically they were looking at her in the office a certain way, like, damn, she's sexy. Woo, we want to get with that. And then when they get into this virtual world, they get with that. But they do it against her will. And she probably had no idea they were looking at her in this manner, that they wanted her. Okay, so it remains to be seen what's actually going to happen in these cases. Will the individuals, here we go, it's just like AI, I'm getting confused. Will the avatars or the people behind the avatars actually face some sort of prosecution? Will they be prosecuted for what they did to her in this unreal world, which is considered a real world once you're in the world, right? Because it's so real, apparently. And like I said, you can change all these things about you. So I want to just make sure I covered everything. Oh, I will say this. So there is an organization, right? The Center for Countering Digital Hate. And they analyzed about 11 and a half hours of this virtual reality, right? This world. And they found that there was extreme hatred. And apparently they found like one infringement every 7 minutes. So every 7 minutes, there was something going on, whether it be racism, abuse, any sort of unwanted sexual act. There was something always happening every 7 minutes. So there was 20 reports of racism, 37 instances of sexual content, 9 reports of abuse. And so they were also saying that this footage there's footage of this avatar saying, and I saw the footage, and the avatar was like looking at a group of kids apparently, and was like, "Ooh, I want to, we should go and get those kids." Like they want to bully the kids, they want to teach the kids a lesson, and so that's what they're saying, how they want to bully the kids and they want to go teach them a lesson. Let's go do it in this virtual reality. And the poor kids probably didn't even know what was coming their way. So very, very, and they said that they thought the kid must learn, like this kid's got to learn a lesson. For what? What occurred for you to even have to go there? You're not the kid's parent. So what gives you the right, because you're in this virtual world, to just go on and say you're going to bully somebody, which, we have laws against harassment. But in the virtual world, there are no laws for this. So they can harass whoever they want. There was another case where this woman said she was shoved into the virtual room and got assaulted. So she was just shoved in there and then just was touched and groped and then left. And she's sitting there traumatized and not knowing what to do. So to end this show, I would say there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of research, a lot of laws that need to be in place. Honestly, they should pull back on this virtual reality altogether until they're properly prepared to have people enter into this world. Maybe there needs to be, everybody needs to have like therapy sessions prior to going in, where they're being taught and explained. Maybe there needs to be courses, maybe a short little workshop that everyone needs to attend so that they understand exactly what will occur when they enter into this world. What is to be expected when they get into this world? And maybe I'll come up with that. Hey, I'll put together some workshops, and then, everybody who wants to go into the virtual world, it will be part of the, I guess, curriculum, or it will be, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is I'm looking for. But the point is you will have to take this course, short little course, could be 15 minutes, and watch a short video of what is to be expected when you enter into these worlds, right? The VR world. All right, so that's my show. I hope you guys got some information out of it. Tell me your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Are we ready for this? Are we ready for virtual reality? Are we ready for what MetaVerse is putting out there? I don't know. I'm not ready for it, but I haven't even tried it. But I'm going to try it, and when I do, I will let you guys know. So thank you so much for joining me again. I'm your girl, Val, the Forensic Gal, right here on Cyber Secure You. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.